This is the show your college professor warned you about. Prepare to be triggered. You're listening to The Patriarchy with Ian and Sal.
Always can come with the same accusations. This speaker supports death penalty for homosexuals. This speaker supports death penalty for this crime or that. He is homophobic. They subjugate women, etc., etc., etc. It's the same old stuff coming all the time. And I always try to tell them that, look, it's not that speaker that we're inviting who has these extreme radical views, as you say. These are general views that every Muslim actually has. Every Muslim believes in these things. Just because they're not telling you about it, or just because they're not out there in the media, doesn't mean they don't believe in them. So I will ask you, everyone in the room, how many of you are normal Muslims? You're not extremists, you're not radical, just normal Sunni Muslims. Please raise your hands. Everybody, mashallah, subhanallah. Okay, take down your hands again. How many of you agree that men and women should sit separate? Please raise your hands. Everyone agree. Everyone agree. Brothers and sisters. Subhanallah. So it's not just these radical sheikhs then. Allahu Akbar. Next question. How many of you agree that the punishments described in the Quran and the Sunnah, whether it is death, whether it is stoning for adultery, whatever it is, if it is from Allah and His Messenger, that is the best punishment ever possible for humankind. And that is what we should apply in the world. Who agrees with that? Allahu Akbar. Are you all radical extremists? Subhanallah. So all of you are saying that you are common Muslims. You all go to the different masajids, Norway. Or are you like a specific sect, like the Islam net sect or anything like that? Are you like that? No. Are you like that? Please raise your hand if you're like this extreme Islam net sect or anything like that. No one. Allahu Akbar. How many of you just go to these normal masajids in Norway, the normal Sunni mosques? Please raise your hands. Allahu Akbar.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Patriarchy Show. This is Sal, along with my co-host and co-owner and co-editor of New Media Central, Ian. How's it going, Ian?
What's up, Sal? Glad to be back. Episode 5. Wow, that went pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Crazy. I think we said this last episode that we're growing, but we just added a lot of stuff over the past week to the site, to newmediacentral.net. We added 2 shows to the network. We added a Europe/UK correspondent and contributor to the network. So we're going. We're steamrolling ahead.
It's exciting. It's huge. It's we're going places now, and I've had this site up for well over 2 years now, and I never really figured out the exact direction I wanted to take for it. So, we get together for this show, and we're throwing ideas back and forth. I think I'm very happy with what's happening now.
Yeah, I think we're going in the right direction. What is it? The 17th of the month, and we've already surpassed the biggest month you've had on the website since its inception.
By the end of this month, we will have already surpassed the total website views for all of last year.
Yeah, and we just started really revamping it on the 6th of June. So in less than 2 weeks, in about 11 days, we were able to accomplish this. So let's get to the introductions of our new contributors or our new shows, and then we'll talk about the video or the sound clip we just played at the top of the show. First, I want to introduce, you've heard him on our show before, I believe episode 2, Nick Martinez of ANCAP versus the World. So he's been contributing to Sal's website when it was Liberty by Logic. Fantastic take on the views and fantastic view on the issues that are going on in the world today. We're happy to have him on board. Also, a new show, and he will be with us on episode, I want to say 6. So the next episode is Bryden Proctor. His show's called Right to Bryden. He's also up on newmediacentral.net. Both shows are up on newmediacentral.net. So he has another one with a great take. He was a Gamergate advocate. He's a cultural libertarian. It all started in 2012 with him with the Ron Paul campaign. He's a comedian, and he's actually gotten in trouble with bookers and promoters and others with his radical take on differing views. So we got a lot of interesting people on the network. And our writer for the UK, who's actually located in the UK, that's where he'll be satellited out of. He'll be reporting mostly on UK issues, is Sebastian Cheek. Sebastian, he's a member of UKIP, which is the United Kingdom Independence Party. He's very involved in the Brexit campaign, which we'll talk about a little bit on the show, Brexit and Britain, because Brexit, the vote's coming up on June 23rd for them to leave the EU. He's actually taken part in speeches and debates in his home county and in London, and he knows a lot about British politics and economics, so we're glad to have everybody on board.
Welcome aboard, everyone.
Yes,
I'm very happy.
Yeah, this is awesome. We're blowing up. Blowing up. I don't want to say like the world trade.
Okay, Biggie.
Yeah.
Okay, Alu Akbar.
Alu Akbar. Speaking of blowing up, like the world trade and Alu Akbar, what we just listened to was a Muslim imam, right? A Muslim speaker.
Yes.
He was at a meeting or a speaking engagement. I'm assuming it was in America, right?
He was speaking at a It was a where the hell is it? Some kind of Muslim conference in 2013.
Okay.
Fahad I can't even pronounce his damn name. Qureshi.
Durka.
Yeah, I shared an article from Infowars Paul Joseph Watson, and it's on our site too. But go to Infowars to find it. Islamic speaker admits killing gays is a belief held by moderate Muslims.
Right. This was back in 2013. They're telling us that it's not a special sect, that it is Islam, that it is Sharia law that commands them to execute homosexuals.
Yeah, so I don't know where these people are getting it from that, moderate Muslims are peaceful and, Islam as a whole is a peaceful religion. It's not. Right.
Yeah, I think it's been said that a moderate Muslim is a Muslim that just watches while the regular Muslims go around killing people. It's pretty much what it is. Sad to say.
That's simply said. I mean, it's disgusting,
right? But
it's true.
Yeah, I saw a new poll that just came out. I think it was, I want to say 51 or 54% of Muslims in America support Sharia law. In America, not Egypt, not Syria, not ISIS-controlled Iraq. In America, and now I want to parlay that into a piece I wrote on the 12th for New Media Central. Title, it's not Islamic extremism, it's Islam. So I'll paraphrase it the best I can. As a nation, as a people, and as a culture, we were attacked by Islam. Talking about where the 50 innocent people were killed in Orlando, Florida. It was the deadliest mass shooting in American history by a single gunman. And there was another 50 or 53 or so more that were hospitalized.
What about Wounded Knee?
I hate that. Don't stop. Don't start. Yeah, let's just include Gettysburg while we're at it. So dumb. Anyway, so we don't understand fully. We want. You see, as a egalitarian culture, that and as a country that was founded on Christian values and beliefs, we want to believe that we can rationalize these things. That the Enlightenment, because Christianity went through a Reformation and through an Enlightenment, that we can debate the issues of Islam and debate the issues of Islamic culture. They don't want to debate. They just want to kill us. So it's not the same. It's not at all compatible. I'm not talking about radical. I'm talking about regular Islam is not compatible. And people go, well, the anecdotal, evidence. Well, my friend's a Muslim and he's a nice guy. We hang out. We have a beer. Yeah, so did the hijackers in 9/11. Didn't they go out to the strip club the night before or something crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, stop. And it's not. Yeah, sure, maybe they're nice people. Maybe they only go to the mosque during Ramadan, and the rest of the year they don't give a shit or ever read the Quran. But it's almost like like there's a switch that can easily be flipped in them, and they can become radicalized at the drop of a dime. The Tsarnaev brothers in Boston. Everyone thought they were just normal kids hanging around.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, their parents were brought in through a refugee program, just like the Orlando killer Omar Medin's parents were brought through the refugee program. But, well, I'm not going to say nothing about the refugee program because it's perfect.
Exactly.
And they were born into the Tsarnaev and the Medin. They were born and raised in America. And Islam, it's like a pile of gasoline. You just need a lit match, and it'll just explode. And that lit match, in both cases, happened to be radicalization through the internet. Right, Chriselle?
I believe so.
Yeah, radicalization through the internet. So back to my article. These moderate voices now we're talking about moderate Muslims. Now, I want to know why so-called moderates are only moderate in Western societies. You only see moderate Muslims in America or Europe, sometimes in Turkey, even though that's changing radically. The rest of the world, not so moderate.
Not at all.
Not so moderate. They're normal, regular Muslims. Okay, that's why you don't hear moderate voices in countries such as Iran or Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, which is all Sunni, and Iran, which is all Shia, unless I mix those up. I believe that's it. The moderate, quote unquote, are always excluded from theological discussions. There was a process called taqiyya, which, to sum it up, is just a justification for concealing true beliefs to further Islam. That is mostly a Shia point of view or Shia tactic. However, it seems to be co-opted by the Sunnis as well. So I have no idea. And whenever you talk to Muslims, because this week Sal and I have had a nice experience with peace-loving Muslims on Twitter out of nowhere.
Man.
Whenever you speak to them, they bring up the Crusades. First off, I want to know if they realize it's the current year. Do they not know it's the current year? It's 2016. No, but anyway. No, it's the current year. The Crusades were almost 1,000 years ago. 800 years ago. So stop it. We're talking about right here, right now, not the Crusades. And regardless if you want to justify killing 50 gays because of the Crusades, something that happened 800 years ago, the Crusades, in my opinion, was mainly a defensive war to retake Christian lands that were conquered by Muslims. For God's sakes. And on my article that I have on newmediacentral.net, I have a video called the Crusades, a concise interview or overview by Real Crusades History channel, a phenomenal channel. Click the video. It's under the Crusades, a concise overview. Click on the video, explore those videos. That's by actual scholars who talk about the actual Crusades, not the PC watered down bullshit you learn in your history class in college. This is real. So what are you gonna do? And again, the video, the sound clip we just listened to, he says We're not extremists. We're not part of any other branch. This is Islam. We kill gays. This is what we do. I mean, how much more blunt and blatant do you want them to be? But the message gets muddled. Some Muslims want to say it's a religion of peace. And because of the West, we want to accept all societies and all cultures and all types of people because we're just nice and that's who we are. We go, oh, okay, we're just misunderstanding everything. Yeah, we are misunderstanding everything. They want to chop our fucking heads off.
Exactly. And I like to point out a lot of the asinine things libertarians believe. And I've noticed from libertarian circles and from people, Ian's favorite people that, the anarchists that call themselves anonymous.
Oh, God damn it.
They like... I'll use police as a group. Police officers in America.
Right.
The reason why that they are all evil and they're all bad is because some just sit back and watch these officers assault African Americans and assault young people and commit crimes themselves. How come they don't apply that to Islam? How come they don't apply that same thing to Islam? The moderates, the people just sitting back, knowing what's happening, watching the beheadings and the friggin' stoning and the people getting set on fire and getting thrown into cages and thrown into the water. How come the people that just sit there and know what's happening, how come they're not the bad? How come they're not bad? How come they're not evil?
Right. Well, and this is where I had to part ways with the Constitution Party and libertarianism a few years ago, because I was searching for answers, and the Republican Party obviously wasn't it. The conservative movement wasn't it. The Libertarian Party wasn't it. The Constitution Party wasn't it. Because of all these things, and
every party should be the Constitution Party.
Yeah, but that's besides the point. That's besides the point. But you're right. Libertarians have cognitive dissonance. They have a big problem when it comes to this.
They have autism.
They have autism. Well, I already said that. I think most libertarians are autistic. I mean, well, it has a lot to do with the cold hard facts, cold hard numbers, and that's that. They don't take in human emotion into consideration to a lot of things. And those are the hardcore libertarians.
Some of their beliefs are driven by emotion, I believe. Like what I just stated about officers, right. And their open border policies.
I think that's driven more by cuckoldry, but that's just me.
I think it's they want to believe that everyone should be one,
right?
And I think it's contradictory towards that that party's main structure and belief system, because an open I don't want to steer away from the Islam talk, but mm-hmm. it's this hypocritical people out there that are helping Taqiyya,
right.
Basically.
Right.
They're advancing.
They're advancing the Taqiyya. Right. Right. Again, which is mainly Iranian sort of theology, Shia theology. Again, Sunni and Shia. I'm pretty sure it's Shia.
You could say that it goes hand in hand with Sharia law because they do lie to advance the caliphate.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. It's all murky because there are some Muslims that are going, yeah, no, we want to kill gays and stone women and subjugate women. And then there's some that are saying, but it's a religion of peace. But when you confront a majority of these people and you go, will you condemn Sharia law? They don't do it.
Nope.
Because when it comes down to it, even though they're moderate, even though at their core, they won't condemn it. They'll dance around it and blame the fucking Crusades. Or say something about the KKK. I'm talking about 1 billion plus people who want to kill gays. You're talking about a bunch of rednecks from the 1930s? Get the fuck out of here. How is that the same? How is that the same? You fucking assholes.
And if, whether a person can't denounce or disavow Sharia law.
I disavow.
If it's because they, if it's because they believe in it, or if it's out of fear that they don't want to speak out against it, doesn't that prove our point?
Yeah. Don't be mean to the terrorists, because if you are, they'll terrorize you, and then because they terrorize you, it's because of Islamophobia, guys. That's what it is. It's not because of their beliefs. It's because you were mean and Islamophobia. Because Islamophobia. So. There's an interesting article I linked to on my article on jihadwatch.org, Robert Spencer's organization, titled 30 Sharia laws that are bad for all societies. And if you just go down to the first example, the mosque and the state are not separate. They're together. We have a separation of church and state in America, regardless of how it's interpreted or misinterpreted. When it first came up, Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter to the Danbury Baptists talking about, I believe, not wanting different denominations to have Christian denominations to have power over other denominations, and not wanting to have the states get involved in church's business. Not the other way around, but regardless of the misinterpretation of that famous quote, the mosque and state are not separate. It's a theocracy. It's one thing.
Yes.
It's one government. So you have the mosque, you have the state. They're not two separate pillars. They're just one. It's one huge bullshit pillar of shit. So the mosque and state are not separate. That's important. It's theocratic. It's a theocracy. So you can't, whereas Christianity, you could, where Jesus says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and render unto God's what is God's. With Islam, it's give us everything because this is just one theocratic nation. We want it all. We are commanded by God to do this. There's no separation there. So that's, I think, is a very important point. So whereas Islam is generally in the West compared to Christianity and Judaism, I and many others would compare it more to communism or any other form of fascism or any other form of government institution. Whereas communism may have a more atheistic approach. Islam uses a godhead instead of the government to further its agenda. Number 2, jihad may be waged against injustice or an unjust nation as Islam defines the terms. So if Islams go, we don't like your boats coming around the corner, we're going to destroy your nation, well, that's good enough for them. That's good enough for them. They don't care. Jihad may be waged to spread Islam and force conversions, a.k.a. a holy war. Okay? You can look at Quran 839, 9:5, 9:11-12, 9:14, 9:29, and so on and so forth for the justification of the holy war to spread Islam. I stated in my article, Islam, especially today, is not spread through conversations, but it's spread through conquest. And that's obviously a big issue. So I'm looking here. Another Sharia law. A woman captive of jihad may be forced to have sex with her captors, a.k.a. owners. So this sounds like such a religion of peace, Sal. And I'm only on number 4, I think.
Sounds like a very pretty religion.
I'd love it. Oh, here's another one. A second-class submission tax called the jizya must be imposed on Jews and Christians and other religious minorities living in Islamic countries. That's, I guess, explained in Quran 9:29. Fight and die, convert to Islam, or keep the religion, but pay a tribute submission tax, the jizya, while living under Islam. So that's standard practice. 9, slavery is allowed under Sharia. And I think it's pretty much only Muslim countries where slavery is. We went over that last week with the map. Pakistan, India has a problem with it. But yeah, mostly Muslim countries. I think Uzbekistan, all that shit. Apostasy laws, including imprisonment or execution, may be imposed on anyone who leaves Islam, an apostate. So you can be killed. Blasphemy laws, including imprisonment or execution, may be imposed on critics of Muhammad or Islam. Drinkers and gamblers will be flogged. So, Sal, there goes you. You're getting flogged every day. Because you're a drinker and a gambler. A highway robber may be crucified, or If you don't want to be crucified, you have the choice of getting your hand or foot cut off. So lucky you.
That's nice.
And here's the one I want to focus on. Homosexuals may be imprisoned, flogged, or executed. Now, it says, surprisingly, the Quran is not all that clear on this subject, but the traditions and classical laws are, so I'm assuming that's the hadiths. Islamic nations, to this day, still impose those punishments, and religious leaders still argue for harsh punishments. So they're still doing it. And as you heard in the sound clip before, they agree with it. It's the thing to do, to kill the gays. And we go tie that into Orlando, because the media is trying to make Medine into a troubled youth, essentially.
The Utes are troubled.
The Utes. He was a troubled youth.
I don't get it with Islam. They're the only group of people that are still living. It's like they never evolved from 1,000 years ago. And Democrats like to talk about Republicans, being set in their ways, and they wanting to go back to the good old days. I think this group has them beat.
Right.
By many centuries.
Oh yeah. No, they want to bring back this 8th century bullshit. And I know people are gonna who are listening to this are gonna go, oh, again, not all Muslims and Christians are bad too, but Christians aren't throwing faggots off roofs. There's not a blood stain at the bottom of a building on a sidewalk of a gay in Christian countries. And some people use Uganda as an example. Africa sucks too. I'm sorry. I don't care if they're Christian or not. Africa sucks regardless. In the West, because of the reformations and the things that Christianity has gone through, we don't do those things. We don't do those. We don't have laws where you have sodomy, you're gay, we kill you. We don't have laws. You're an atheist. We kill you. Countries have those laws for not just homosexuality, but all you thin-haired ginger atheists out there. You would be killed too in the Middle East.
Yeah. Atheism is they don't like that shit out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the countries right now where atheists can face death. It's a Reuters article from 2013, and it says atheists face death in 13 countries. Okay, so let's see the wonderful countries. I wonder if any of them are in North America. I wonder. 13 countries. Let's see here. I bet you they're lying. Okay, here we go. But this year's more comprehensive study shows that the full list: Afghanistan, Iran, Malaysia, Maldives. Wow. I've seen this country, I've read about this country, but I'm going to fuck up the pronunciation. Mauritania. Oof, I know I said that wrong. Nigeria, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan, United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. And some of those are quote-unquote moderate countries, like the UAE. So
we have all Middle Eastern and African countries.
All more, France isn't one of them. Surprise. England isn't one of them. Norway isn't one of them. Speaking of Norway, we're going to have an exciting guest call in. We want to keep him anonymous. We're just going to call him a concerned citizen from Norway. Because, as he explained to me, that Norway is so cucked that if you speak out against the migrants or about Islam in Norway, you can lose your fucking job. You can get in trouble for hate speech. Just for telling the truth and reciting numbers.
It's disgusting. I'm so fucking annoyed and pissed off at some of the stuff I've seen this week.
It's insane, and it doesn't stop. on a personal level, and I've said this on a couple episodes, I've been affected by Islam, not radical Islam, Islam. Sal's been affected by Islam. And just today on Twitter, or what was it, yesterday? What was it? Yeah, yesterday on Twitter, we were both getting death threats. Or was that 2 days ago? Because what happened was...
It was 2 days ago, yeah.
Yeah, Milo Yiannopoulos, his account got suspended because it was spammed by a bunch of Muslims and being flagged and reported. I've been calling it #Jihad Twitter. Jihad Twitter. So he got suspended. He got in trouble for being a gay person speaking out against the tragedy in Orlando. So he got suspended. And then I like to be confrontational on Twitter, and Sal likes to be confrontational on Twitter, at Ian D. Erickson and at Liberty by Logic, by the way. And right away, almost instantaneously, no debate, no talking. It's here we go. Here's one. It's the person's handle is at AL_34A at Ian D. Erickson. Don't talk too much, and I come to you, and before I kill you, you'll feed the pain. He said, feed the pain. And my response was, your ancestors are the daughters of pigs and donkeys. They hate that shit. You have to like do animals, goat sex. So, for example, here's another one.
Anything with farm animals, they don't like.
They don't like that. Here we go. Another one. Fool! Where did you get this dog? Islam not like that. It is beautiful and not something like this. And I wrote, your mother's a dog's anus.
All right, so he says it's beautiful, and then read his next tweet to you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then he writes, I'll kill you. Oops, I'm not kidding. Don't let that fool you. Knife emoji.
That was cute. I laughed at that a little bit.
Well, there's one thing I learned about Arab Twitter or Jihad Twitter is that they use a fuck ton more emojis than blacks.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, I thought black people use a lot of emojis. Nope. Jihad Twitter wins, hands down. So I responded, fuck off. Your grandmother is the child of sick dogs.
I jumped in I tried to get cute with this guy, and his first thing was, do you want to die too?
Yeah.
And I reported it, and Twitter found that nothing, no Twitter rules were violated.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. He wrote to me, are you an idiot? Don't talk more because you're under my shoes. If I wanted to kill you immediately, lock the door good. So that's the one I actually was like, okay, enough's enough. I reported that. And it took just now, not too long ago, I finally got an email that his account was suspended. 2 days.
Yeah,
Milo was suspended twice this week for nothing. For no death threats.
How long do you think he's suspended for?
I don't know. I'll check right now to see if he's still up. But he was suspended. And so I responded with, Muhammad is being raped in hell by Jewish goats. That really pissed them off.
Yeah, that could set one of them off.
Because first, it's the prophet. You're saying the name, and you're not being nice. You're not saying PBQ2, or peace be upon him. So you're saying that without saying the letters, peace be upon him. Muhammad, I'm saying he's being raped in hell. And not only is he being raped in hell, he's being raped in hell by goats. And not just any type of goats. Jewish goats. So that's 4 things in those 10 words that can really set off a Muslim.
Yeah, that was
my favorite one.
I don't see the. Oh wait, he's still suspended.
He's still suspended. I was just gonna check. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, and we got a couple other so bad.
Can they
threats.
still see posts toward them when they're suspended?
I don't know.
I should taunt him.
Yeah, no, leave it alone. I think he's get kicked off. He'll reappear and reemerge as someone else. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And it all started because this one account, this Muslim account, I forgot what it was called, but retweeted one of Milo's tweets, and that's how it all started. And then Milo probably got thousands of death threats into his inbox, and Twitter did nothing. They just let it happen. And then he got suspended again today. Like, what the fuck? Come on. You're letting Jihad Twitter threaten a gay guy right after the worst mass shooting in American history happened to be in a gay club by a Muslim? You fucking kidding me, Twitter? And we find out that I believe Twitter was just bought. Tons of shares of Twitter was just bought by one of the princes of Saudi Arabia, Al Twalib or whatever, the guy with the Italian tablecloth, as Michael Savage likes to say. It's on his head.
The Italian tablecloth. Yeah, and Milo's his other Twitter account, Swag by Milo, was threatened. Right. It was reported, same situation as me. He posted the screenshot of Twitter saying, "Nope, nothing's wrong here."
You gotta be kidding me.
The person's literally saying, "I'm gonna kill you." But no, that's not a violation of any. That's disgusting.
I wonder why the one I reported was considered a death threat and got him suspended, but the other ones weren't. That's weird to me.
Mine. They
maybe because he said he was going to go to my house. I don't know.
That's possible.
Remember, I said, well, he's gonna have to learn how to get out of his cave and drive a car first before he gets here.
Yeah. That offended him.
Yeah,
about the driving.
He was like, you will see! You will see! Okay. What are you going to do? Get on your magic carpet, Aladdin? Shut up.
Who's this other person that's yelling at you? Don't talk about my mother.
Yeah, they don't like that. This is how you fight back. You talk about their moms being raped by Satan in hell. They don't like that. They don't like that. They don't being anally raped by demons. They don't like that. So, yeah, they'll make that. I think that's what really confused them. Because usually when a death threat comes from Muslims, people go, oh, no. Oh. I was like, oh, fuck you. Your mom's a dead dog's anus. Die. Because you could tell it's all they're talking through translators.
Your grandmother is the child of sick dogs, you wrote?
Yeah. Go back to your cave, donkey fucker. I got some good ones on here, man. Your mother's a dog's anus. Fuck off, your grandmother is the child of sick dogs.
Oh, he called you a fool.
Yeah, oh man. Good thing a fool? What am I going to do with that? I don't think I can deal with that, Sal. I think I'm going to go kill myself. I think I have PTSD now, Sal. I don't know what to do. So back to the article. I have, 2 videos up here talking about Sharia law. And that's the main thing. Sharia law. Most Muslims, especially in the Middle East and Indonesia, South Asia, they want Sharia law. Sharia law calls for the stoning of women. Sharia law calls for the owning of slaves. Sharia law calls for the execution of homosexuals. Okay? I don't know what could be more blunt about what the real Islam is. And here I have 2 videos of Muslims talking about it. Just 2 on my site. There's thousands of them on YouTube. Just 2 up on my site talking about homosexuality and that it demands execution. Here's one by Canadian citizen Dr. Bilal Phillips. He admits Islamic law calls for the execution of homosexuals, and he's actually banned from Germany. And here's the crazy part: as he's talking about Sharia law calling for the death of homosexuals and being banned from Germany, the people in the audience just laughing, like, "Oh, you're banned from Germany? That's crazy because you want to kill gays." These people are insane.
They are.
So here are some stats real quick that are in the article. 40% of Muslims want Sharia law in the UK. 62% of Muslims want some form of Sharia law in Canada. 81% of Egyptians want strict Sharia imposed in every Islamic country. Egypt, a moderate, quote-unquote, country.
Yeah.
76 of Pakistanis want strict Sharia imposed in every Islamic country. 49% of Indonesians want strict Sharia imposed in every Islamic country. 76% of Moroccans, and it keeps going on. 72% of Indonesians, again, with a different survey. 74% of Egyptians who favor Sharia law also think it should be applied to non-Muslims. So they're not just saying only Muslims, they're saying everybody. Everybody needs to deal and have a good time with Sharia law. And this is the point. Sharia, you're a Muslim, you're a moderate, you're extreme, you're zealot. I don't fucking care what bullshit made up mythical category you want to put your brand of Islam is. You're a Muslim. You follow Islam to the T. You follow the Prophet Muhammad. He was responsible for death and murder all over the
Pedophilia.
world. And that's what you do. You follow him. You believe Muhammad was the perfect man. Well, apparently the perfect man married his cousin at 6, raped her when she was 9, Aisha, according to the hadith, I believe Muslim, and I forgot the other one. Raped and married her when she was 9.
The 3 years.
What?
3 years is a long time to wait.
He waited
in a relationship. Give him a break.
Yeah, he was like 6. Oh, that might be a little gross. 9, not so bad.
You ever see some of these excuses that they make when you're arguing with them?
No.
It's horrible. It was normal at the time.
Jesus never raped a 9-year-old. What are you talking about?
How many other people from back then do you read about fucking 9-year-olds? Just him.
I don't know. I mean, the Greeks. There were probably a lot of boy fuckers back then. But if you go to Christianity, you don't hear about it. And at least it's not. Again, Muhammad's the perfect man in Islam. You follow what he does. He had 11 wives at one point, was married 13 times. At one point, I believe, had up to 11. Fucked a 9-year-old pedophile. So he's a polygamous pedophile, psychopath murderer. That doesn't sound like a perfect man to me. Because I base my views on Western society, Western philosophy, Western ideals, and Christianity. That's where I get my morality from. And Jesus says, turn the other cheek. Jesus says, cast the first stone. Jesus helps the blind man in the Bible, whereas Muhammad in the Quran, I believe, or Hadith, spits on the blind man. There's a huge difference here, guys. Huge difference. Okay? And there are 50 or 49 or 50 people dead in Orlando. And we're fucking going, oh, kumbaya. Well, they're going to fucking cut your heads off, you assholes. And then, in my article, I posted a few tweets from liberals talking about, they're jumping on the tragedy to talk about gun laws.
It's ridiculous.
Talk about gun laws. So, for example, Brianna Wu of Gamergate fame, she wrote, Orlando anti-LGBT terrorist, notice, anti-LGBT terrorist, not Muslim, used an AR-15.
No, they didn't.
He didn't use an AR-15. The only scenario where civilian needs an assault weapon involves ninjas and an ancient curse. Or the government is trying to kill you.
What
But
a stupid
what do I know?
bitch.
What do I know? Or someone's trying to break into your house. What do I know? And here's another one by a Muslim. RT, if you respect Islam, respect LGBTQ plus rights, are a feminist, think America should ban guns, think Bernie should have become president.
Fuck no.
These people are, here's another one. To summarize, 1, pressure lawmakers to ban guns. 2, do not blame Islam or Muslims for any of this. These people know what they're talking about.
Oh.
Here's another one.
What was 9/11 blamed on? Bad piloting?
Yeah, airplanes.
Fucking idiots.
Lockheed Martin's fault. Or Boeing. Boeing did it. Here's another one. It has nothing to do with Islam. Ban guns and spread peace. What are these fucking people, assholes?
They need to get their fucking... They suck. They suck. So bad. Wow.
I don't know. It's just insanity. There's nothing more I can do. I mean, and then I had to jump in and I wrote, tally for the day. Homophobia, 50 dead. Islamophobia, 0 dead. Liberals' response, don't be Islamophobic. So, this is what we're going. And I kind of wrap it up with Obama's mealy-mouth response, which was just a bunch of bullshit, and compare it to when we were attacked on Pearl Harbor with FDR's speech, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. So he named it. And then the famous George W. Bush, I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And soon the people who knock these buildings down will heal all of us soon. So these are like rallying cries. Agree with either of them or not. It inspired people to go, yeah, we should fucking do something about the Japanese. Yeah, we should fucking do something about these fucking Muslims. Obama's like, this is a sobering reminder. The attacks on any American, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation, is an attack on all of us and on the fundamental values of equality and dignity that define us as What the fuck is that? That inspired me to want to choke myself, and not in the way while I masturbate. Not in the fun way.
What erotic.
Yeah, not in the fun way. So
he's always trying to give a lecture to the country. Fucking egomaniac.
Well, we all
and then
do
you got,
that.
jackasses like Whoopi Goldberg.
Ugh.
That blame guns and totally perverts the meaning of the Second Amendment.
Right.
Total dipshit.
Right.
I gotta find the sound clip. I'm having.
Yeah, find that. But do you want to go into the with Gavin McInnes and Milo in your Orlando?
Yeah, we could do that too.
Okay, let's jump there. Go ahead.
Let me fix my soundboard for a second. There's something.
Boo.
I'm having an issue. Yeah.
Boo. But so what happened in Orlando? Apparently, Milo Yiannopoulos was supposed to give a talk about Islam and homosexuality in one of the universities, I believe the University of Central Florida, near Orlando. And however, at the very, 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 very last second, it was canceled because apparently caving into a bunch of Muslims is more important than the safety or the free speech of a homosexual, even though a bunch of homosexuals were just killed. So Milo goes to Ground Zero in Orlando, I believe right in front of the Pulse nightclub, and he gives a speech. You can see the speech on YouTube, just obviously YouTube Milo Yiannopoulos, Orlando speech. And he goes there with the famed Gavin McInnes. Gavin McInnes was one of the founders of Vice magazine and left in the late 2000s. He now has a show on Compound Media with Auntie Cumia. Love Gavin, love the show. And he has a lot to say about how Christianity has evolved and reformed. I think he calls it our religion has an update. It's a 2.0 version.
Yeah.
Sal, do you have that?
We have a 2.0 in our religion. We've updated it. So I want us all to recognize that the West is the best.
Yeah.
And America is the greatest. Homosexuality is a little weird. We're the most advanced. And as a straight man, standing here with a gay man, I would just like to say, fuck you, Islam.
I don't know if you want to explain why that applause erupted into a wild cackle.
Yes, because fame, quote-unquote, homophobic Gavin McInnes made out with Milo at the end. Just to go, fuck you, Islam. Like he said, fuck you, Islam. We can do what the fuck we want. And made out with Milo. So I thought that was very important.
What I like about this whole crowd of people, the alt-right and, Milo and his buddies and Gavin and this whole group of people, they're like a giant fuck you to the left. Because you can't call them homophobic, like you can with
me,
traditional conservatives. With you.
No, I'm joking. I'm not homophobic. I'm just saying people might say that, but I'm obviously not.
Yeah, they're not. They welcome everyone. They'll welcome whatever color you are, whatever religion you are, whoever you want to screw, as long as it's not a 9-year-old.
Right.
They welcome you in. Not every other group does that.
Right.
Especially neocons and progressives.
Well, yeah. Well, with neocons and progressives, you have to be their type of minority. You have to toe the line. Whereas with the different many splintering groups on the right, be it alt-right all the way up to, traditional conservatives all the way, there's different views, but you're all considered right-wing because you pretty much have the same concerns. I see the right-wing changing rapidly this year. It probably started, I believe it started around I believe it was set off by Gamergate, to be honest with you, and I see it changing rapidly now with the advent of the alt-right and the different factions in the alt-right from, to seeing lots of conservatives and traditional conservatives jumping on that bandwagon. Then you have pure nationalists.
Oh, man. Some of them scare me.
Nah, some of them are fine.
I think some of them really would. Like, if a nationalist that they supported came into power, I really do think that they would support helicopter rides for their political enemies.
Why not? No, well, you have to understand, nationalism is just saying America firstism. That's all.
Yeah, I know. I love the term America first. There is a limit, though, to what you should do to people that don't believe that.
Well, everyone can believe what they want. We just have to be able to articulate why our views are better and why letting hordes and hordes of illegal immigrants and Muslims into the country is bad. Because if they take over and they start getting into power like they have in England and the UK, they're going to change the way we go about things radically. It's going to be totally different. And that's bad. That's bad. Then we'll turn into those shitholes. They, instead of staying in their shitholes and changing their shitholes to be more like us, they want to take their shithole here and make us like their fucking shithole. And that's bad. I don't know if you know that, Sal, but I don't want America to be a fucking shithole.
It's going to turn into Dearborn, Michigan.
What
the entire country.
Yeah, that's where all the Somalians are, right?
That's one of the. It's the first. It's a city in Michigan where they've implemented Sharia.
That's nice. Let's keep that up. And London,
huge
London
safe haven.
London has a Pakistani or a Muslim. I don't know if he's Pakistani, but a Muslim mayor. And apparently he's banning or using tax dollars for Islamic advertisements on buses, I believe. Something to that extent. But, again, they want to kill the gays. They want to kill you atheists. They want Christians and Jews to pay a tax to be under their rule or, quote-unquote, their protection. And, again, they'll dance around the topic. They will never condemn Sharia. They will never condemn the terrible verses in the Quran. And they will try to dance around it by bringing up Christianity, bringing up the Crusades, bringing up this and that. Filter it down. Drill it down to Muhammad and Jesus. What is this?
I don't know what the hell that is.
What is that?
I think that was a pop-up ad.
Thanks, Sal. But drill it down to Muhammad and Jesus. And like I said earlier, Muhammad killed a bunch of fucking people and had his people rape a bunch of people. And he actually raped a 9-year-old and killed a bunch of people. So you take that, and they want to follow that example, and you take Christians, they want to follow Jesus. So, I mean, there's a stark contrast there.
Poor Aisha.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine being that poor, scared 9-year-old. Oh, but her parents going, but he's the prophet of God, so they'll be okay. She's like, I don't want to know. I remember I had a friend of mine who was Coptic Christian from Egypt. And he came in, he told me that, started talking to me about Muhammad and Aisha. And he goes, he was getting really angry. He's like, I have a 9-year-old daughter. I used to wipe her bottom when she was a baby. I know what little kids' privates look like. And he went in there and destroyed it. It's disgusting. And he got really angry. He goes, it's an animal. They're animals. And I believe just today or yesterday in Britain, 13 more Muslims were arrested for having a child sex ring. So that's nice.
Muhammad was allegedly 53 when he consummated his marriage with Aisha.
Well, isn't that sweet?
It's wonderful. It's
really?
They should make a romantic movie about it.
Well, I wonder why they haven't. Well, they haven't because they can't show the image of Muhammad. So if someone makes the movie, they'll get killed.
Horrible.
I don't know.
Disgusting.
let me see here. So I guess we'll move on to our friend, my friend from Norway.
Oh, he's gonna call in a minute. We're gonna discuss the migrant crisis with him, right?
Yes, the migrant crisis, how it's affecting Norway, and then by extension how it's affecting the rest of Europe, and then by extension how that can actually affect America. He has a lot of interesting anecdotal evidence, but he also has actual facts and statistics to back up what he's saying. I have to keep him anonymous because, like I said, he can get in trouble, I suppose, by speaking the truth.
This will be our second anonymous guest.
We have the inside scoop, folks.
Not the good anonymous that you like and want to be a part of.
Yeah, expect us.
You want to get one of those fucking masks?
Guy Fawkes masks? Yes, I want to install a Catholic theocracy in America, guys. That's what I want to do. It all started because of that stupid V for Vendetta. The graphic novel, which got turned into a movie with, what's her face? The British girl. I forgot her name. From Star Wars 1, 2, and 3.
I don't know.
What's her name? Why do I know? Why do I know exact numbers of Muslim refugee percentages, but I can't name this actress? I know her name. Oh my god! I mean, myself.
I don't know. I don't know their names. Was it Lily something or?
No, it wasn't Lily.
I don't fucking know. Natalie Portman?
Yes, Natalie Portman from The Professional. Yes. You see, that's how much I pay attention to this bullshit.
I had to look it up.
Yeah, Natalie Portman. But yeah, so we'll be talking to him, my anonymous source in Norway. So it's interesting that, like I said, we're expanding into Europe. We have Sebastian Sheik, who's going to be jumping on as a contributor. Wody from Rocky Gold. I forgot to say that. Wody, we're opening up a music arts section of newmediacentral.net, and he will be featured on there. So that is awesome.
I love his music. It's so catchy. I love his Hillary and his Donald Trump songs. They're great. Yeah.
The Hillary for Prison one was amazing. He just came out with that one. Oh, look at this. I just got a tweet from Bryden Proctor. Out for a celebration scotch at my favorite local bar. Very happy to be a part of New Media Central. Check out the Patriarchy show. Tremendous. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Wow.
Proctor. Yeah, look at that. Resounding yays. So
I can't wait till we get our first nay.
Now,
do you want to get into a radio war?
I don't want to get into a radio war. Those are exhausting. They're exhausting. Especially nowadays, where we're on social media so much. It would just be exhausting.
Oh, I've been in many in my day. It is exhausting.
Yeah. I mean, if it has to be, it has to be, but I'd rather not right now.
It's not. They're totally preventable and avoidable.
Right. Well, I don't mind radio wars with liberal pieces of shit, but as far as guys on our side, for the most part,
I honestly don't know any liberal internet radio shows or podcasts.
Mark Maron, technically.
Is that the one that had Obama on his show?
Maybe. I think so. I think he had Obama. And I believe he had Gavin McInnes on, but he refused to air the Gavin McInnes episode, from my understanding. I don't know if he aired it yet, but at the time, I think he refused to air it because it was not nice. Gavin McInnes was too controversial.
What a bitch boy.
Yeah, let's cut it now. Mark Maron, we're coming for you with our 100 listeners.
Yeah,
we're coming. We're gonna get you, Mark Maron. We have tens and dozens of listeners. Oh, you know who I hate? Dave Anthony.
Oh, that's the is that the comedian?
Well, if you call that, of The Dollop. He does a podcast called The Dollop, where they have a interesting take on history. I don't want to talk about it, but I hate that faggot. I hope his wife gets anal AIDS. Just on the anus. Just AIDS right there so she doesn't die. It's just her anus just like dissolves.
Anal AIDS?
Yeah, anal AIDS. I hate that guy.
What did he do?
I don't remember, but he's a faggot. Honestly, I can't remember. It was on Twitter. It was a while back. He blocked me. I think he blocked myself, a couple of people I know. He went after Anthony Cumia. Something to do with beating women. And he went after Anthony, and then the people just came out to destroy him. And I wasn't one of them at the time, but then like a month later, he tweeted something out that was just fucking retarded, so I went after him, and I posted, "Oh, hey, Dave, remember the time you deleted and your tweets, and you backtracked and apologized for insulting Anthony Cumia? I do," and I posted tweet images, and then he immediately blocked me. He's a faggot.
I never heard of this guy before.
Yeah, neither did I until the day he went at Cumia. So, no, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
Dave.
Whole
I'm
crew.
on his website now.
They're all. I think it's like a whole LA thing. I think he writes for Mark Maron's show on IFC. He's always, he's a pretty established guy.
Why does it say his Twitter doesn't exist?
Oh, maybe he got rid of it because he was getting so much hate because he sucks at life.
You got very happy.
I am happy. Is it Dave Anthony or David Anthony? It's one or the other. I'm not sure.
Well, Dave is not working.
Check David.
David Anthony is not him, I don't think.
I don't see it here either.
Well, on his website, that dollop bullshit, there's like a line through his Twitter account.
Wah, 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 wah. Thank you.
Okay.
I knew you had that. That's why I did it. Or unless he changed it so it could be hidden. I don't know. Because he it's pointless, and he's a liberal shithead. He's a liberal shithead. And honestly, I don't mean that about his wife. I hope that she gets anal AIDS. I don't wish anyone's wife getting anal AIDS. I wish he got anal AIDS. That would be sweet. No.
I wish I wish he would all of a sudden come down with progeria.
Oh, speaking of progeria, don't we have that special Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin interview?
Progeria?
I don't know. It just kind of connected from progeria to Ben Shapiro for some reason.
I do not have that on the
What?
soundboard. I could put it on real quick, I believe.
Yeah, we have exclusive... Folks, you will never believe what we have. We have exclusive footage, exclusive sound clip of outtakes of Ben Shapiro and David Rubin on the Rubin Report.
Let me see. Yeah, I think I could play that right off.
Yeah.
I don't think I need the soundboard for this. Let me play this.
So hold on to your horses, folks, because this is a doozy.
My guest this week is editor-in-chief of DailyWire.com, editor-at-large of Breitbart.com, a syndicated columnist, a radio host, and a New York Times best-selling author. You want me to throw in anything else?
I'm a rare type of dwarf. It's called cartilage hair hypoplasia. And, I don't know if you've heard of Billy Barty. And, I'm the same type as him. So you come out, I mean, you're born kind of proportioned. And, you look pretty much normal, except for being small.
You were actually born in L.A. and brought up in L.A. Mm-hmm. I thought there were no conservatives in L.A. What the hell are you doing here?
I was like 23, 24, and I got a call about, somebody needing a stunt double for a 9-month-old baby.
So as a true conservative, this must make you feel crazy, right? I mean, you must be really enraged at your own party.
There's an incident where, there was a kid, he was like 2 years younger, and a lot taller than me. And he called me the M-word, and that's the wrong thing to say. So, I didn't even say anything back. I just jumped up and punched him in the nose, and he started bleeding.
Anyway, I want to thank Ben, and you can check out his work pretty much all over the place, but I believe it's Benjamin Shapiro, Doc.
No problem.
Wow. It's not going to surprise you, but you are the least big person I've had on the show.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow! Mind-blowing! Who knew that Ben Shapiro, the reason why he's so short, is dwarfism? So, you know that? This This is a crazy revelation that's going to create ripples throughout the conservative movement. Ben Shapiro is a disabled dwarf.
I said it before. I'm really happy about, becoming a part of this alt-right movement. And if it weren't for the Rubin report, I would have never known that.
Yeah, crazy. And Rubin's he's a liberal, and we discussed this last show where the left kind of just left him, going, okay, you guys want to be authoritarian, you guys want to put stops on freedom of speech. I don't. Fuck. Who do I hang out with now? I don't like the right because of social and economic issues. I don't like you guys because you're fascists. So, like, what do I do? But so I thought that was a very interesting interview. I couldn't believe it.
Yep. Ben the dwarf.
Ben the dwarf.
So we have our guest calling in. I almost said his name.
Yeah, don't say his name, even if you could pronounce it. So.
All right, let's get him on the line.
All right, let's do it. All right, and with us on the phone is a concerned Norwegian citizen. So we'll just get into it. How you doing today, concerned Norwegian citizen?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Awesome. So you're here to talk about the migrant crisis in Norway and by extension Scandinavia and Europe. So do you have any anecdotal stories that you want to tell about what's happening in your country?
Well, when I was asked to come on your show, I pulled up some statistics. I was surprised at the rate at which our country is changing, really. And we have issues, as you probably know, not just Norway, but every European country in handling this new situation. And I mean, we took in 35,000 refugees last year, and
wow.
Yeah, it's of course. I mean, yeah, we have real problems, and the question is how to not just stop this flow of immigration, but how to handle the people that we take in.
Right. Yeah, and 35,000 people. Norway is a country of about 5 million. So that's 0.7% of a population increase in a year of a radically, totally different culture just injected into Norway.
That's right, yeah. And I have to point out that luckily we have a government that saw this in time and put the brakes on. I mean, our neighboring country, Sweden, has I think they let in 160,000 refugees last year, and
wow.
That's they've really shot themselves in the foot. I mean, they've taken in far too many people to handle.
Right. Now, Sweden is pretty much the future of Norway if Norway keeps allowing this to continue, taking all these refugees in. I know, I've seen reports about Malmö, Sweden, pretty much being swallowed by Islam and a lot of these different cultures from the Middle East, and then Stockholm being swallowed by them. It's sad because I love Europe and I love Scandinavia, I love Norway, I love Sweden, I love the cultures. I think they're beautiful, and it looks like that a lot of that is being erased in Norway and in Sweden.
Wow. Yeah, I think Sweden has done things rather differently than Norway. I mean, they've been a lot more liberal in terms of immigration and stuff. But it should be pointed out that we need immigration because this is a political project, really, because the birth rates in many countries in Europe is far too small to be sustainable.
Yeah.
In Norway, we have, I think it's 1.8. There's a birth rate of 1.8, which is too low. And in other countries, in the Mediterranean countries, it's critically low. Italy's birth rate is 1.4, and even Germany's is 1.5. So this is it's a political project, and we certainly need immigration to be able to handle the future. Because we will have huge problem with an aging population and stuff, and this is true for most European countries. And, but it's the way in which it's being done that's really concerning, because in effect we don't really know who we're letting in. To some degree, you know, and this is the problem. I don't think, you know, I don't know that immigration in itself is the problem, because without immigration, our societies would just wither and die because people aren't making kids anymore. But
right,
but it's the way it's being done. That's the real issue, you know.
Right, and you don't know who's coming in, and that's what happened in San Bernardino in California in America. We didn't know who was being brought in. There was a fake address on the fiance's visa application. No one checked that out. That went, disregarded. The Tsarnaev brothers in Boston, their parents were brought over unchecked through a refugee system. The parents of the recent shooter in Orlando, his parents were brought over with an unchecked refugee system. And it turns out his father was some sort of Taliban supporting Afghani, but. And so, like you said, we just don't know who these people are. I think there needs to be a lot more scrutiny put on who's coming into the Western countries. Now, as far as crime, has the refugees have any impact on the crime or the availability of police?
Well, we took in, like I said, of these 35,000 that came to Norway last year, and there were 5,300 minors, people who are below 18 years, and almost all of these were young single males, because they're coming on their own as they get residence permit or whatever so they bring their families over and stuff, but. There's been reports of crime connected to these centres where the asylum seekers are, and these reception centres are totally open. I mean, it's not internment. You know, they can walk around freely as they please. And but crucially, you know, there's at least 2,000 of the people that came over last year that had their asylum application rejected have disappeared. We don't actually know where they are.
Wow.
They're still in the country and they're not registered. And so it's like I say, we don't. There's not enough control with who's coming in, and with the climate, in the Middle East and with ISIS and everything, then the last thing you want to do is to let people you don't know who is into your country. You can't do that, obviously, but yeah. Right.
And like ISIS has even announced that they are slipping in ISIS fighters into the refugees, into Europe and into America. They've told us what their plan is. Yes, so it's exactly. Kind of it's rather stupid to not take them at their word. So obviously they're telling us they're doing it. They have done it. If you look at what happened in Paris and in Belgium, who's to say what this couldn't happen in London, in Oslo, in Stockholm, in any of Europe?
No, exactly, and I mean, Norway is a very open society. It's a society that's based on trust, and our police officers, they don't carry guns and there is definitely a certain sense of fear in Europe generally these days. I mean, we had obviously 5 years ago, as you know, we had the terrorist attack by Anders Behring Breivik.
Yep.
Yes.
I remember that.
He exploited precisely our model of society, which is an open, sort of trusting model of society where we essentially assume that people aren't going to cause trouble, you know. Right. And so I mean, if a terrorist wanted to cause havoc in Oslo, they could easily do so, you know. So I think that's in the back of everyone's mind, to be honest, because I mean, our immigrant population has increased dramatically in the last 15 years, just in Oslo, and this is a number I have. I checked the National Bureau of Statistics, you see, and the immigrant population in Oslo increased by 112,000 between 2000 and 2015.
Wow.
And yeah,
Wow.
And that's huge, you know. And you can see society change before your eyes. But yeah, and actually, until I checked these numbers before coming on your show, I didn't know how many had actually come in. But of course, our problem is equally that we have a radical element as well here with Muslims. But
Right.
the interesting thing is that our radicals are by and large the second or even third generation immigrants. I mean, they've been born and raised in Norway, you know. And,
Right.
much like the terrorists did the attacks in Paris, they were born and raised in France as well. So, that's really I can put, you know, why is this happening? Why is people that are born and raised here
Right.
in an affluent, good society? Why do these people turn to fundamental Islam?
Right.
And that's and like I say, you know, even more so than the refugee issue. This is how can I say, you know, our sort of Norwegian Muslims.
Right. So what's
yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like in America, for example, when the Irish would come over, the immigrants would be naughty, to say the least. They would create a lot of trouble. The Italians came over, they created the mafia. But that was the initial immigrants. However, after they had children, the children would learn English. The Italians, at least, and other immigrants would learn English. My Polish ancestor, my Norwegian ancestors would all learn English and assimilate into society. After the first generation would act terribly. However, it seems the exact opposite is happening with the Muslim immigrants. Their family is trying to run away from the havoc that's happening in the Middle East and North Africa, and they seem to be okay, but it's their children, the next generation, that seem to be getting radicalized.
Yes, exactly, because the difference between Norway and the US is that we've practiced integration rather than assimilation less. That is to say that, you know, we've encouraged the immigrants to retain their culture and their language and stuff when they come to our country, and this has been a policy that has failed in my view, because like I said, most of Eastern Oslo now has a majority immigrant population,
right?
And there's plenty of evidence to suggest that there are so-called parallel societies emerging with social control and stuff in these places, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that as a direct result of not really demanding, you know, immigrants to assimilate properly into Norwegian society.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said the statistic earlier that between 2000 and 2015, 112,000 immigrants have come into Oslo. Oslo is only 618,000 people around that. So that's approximately, 17 to 18% increase within the Oslo population itself of these immigrants. That's huge.
That's right. Yeah, Oslo is growing very, very fast, though, you know. And yeah, that's right. It's obviously, you know, as well as more and more immigrants are granted citizenship, they become, you know, an ever more important vote demographic, you know.
Right.
And that has certainly influenced our policies as well. There's no question about that. Especially to the Norwegian left, you know, which I mean, to my mind, they've been sort of pandering to the Muslim communities for many years, and yeah.
Now, I have a question. Is there a political party or any specific politician that, let me see how I put this, still takes on Norway's openness and more liberal, tolerant society, however, wants something to be done about the immigration issue? What party, is there a party like that, or a specific politician like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, the political discussion in this country is changing now, because most people are starting to realize that we can't, first of all, we can't take in everyone that's coming to this country, and it's important to understand that I'm not a right winger. I usually vote for the Green Party in this country. So, but the public discussion has really changed. When this refugee crisis started, then there was a lot of demonization from the left wingers and people that objected to this mass immigration, were called racists or whatever. But people are starting to understand that it's nothing to do with racism. It's to do with national security in a sense. And we have a government which consists of two parties, which is the Conservative Party and a party called the Progress Party, which is sort of a right-wing party. Both them and the biggest party in this country, which is the Labour Party, a Social Democrat Party, they're all sort of seeing sense now. They're saying that we need to improve our system and our means of taking in these people before we can let them into society. And thankfully, people are starting to see sense. Because immigrants normally gravitate towards Oslo. We already have like ghetto-like parts in the central and eastern part of town.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people are coming around to to understand that we need to have a system in place to take these people in before we can let them in, essentially. And because Sweden didn't, they just opened their borders, and they're really stuck in. They have real problems now, and it's essentially for fear of being seen as selfish or as racist or as bigoted, and but I think more and more people are coming around to understanding that it's not racism to want to have control over our own borders,
Yeah, I have a question. So in Norway, there's a large, considering the size of Norway, there's a large Polish immigrant community. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, compared to let's say the Somalian immigrant community, which is about a third the size of the Polish, but still pretty significant, with about 36,000 Somalians currently living in Norway. Is there a difference within the assimilation? Is there or integration? Are the Polish getting along better, or the Somalians getting along better, or there's neither?
Well, the Polish immigration started with Schengen, obviously, and Polish people are coming to Norway to work. There's loads of Polish like carpenters and stuff that they come to Norway to work, and they're obviously from a culture that's far closer to ours, and they have a better education. They learn the language quicker. Somalis are a big problem. I mean, they come from a culture that's nothing like ours, and of course, the unemployment rate among Somalis, I haven't checked that beforehand, but it's really, really big. Yeah, of course, there's a massive difference.
Right.
Obviously, Western European immigrants cope more easily, than people from countries that are very, very different from ours.
Right. So that's a distinction I wanted to go into, because in America we have Donald Trump, who's the Republican nominee, He's calling for a more reasonable approach to immigration, not shutting down immigration, but being more selective about who we let in, insofar as maybe allowing greater priority to Western European countries or European countries, or people who come from South Africa, or people who come from Australia, or people who come from more educated parts of South America. To let them in. Yeah. Sal?
I said it makes sense to me.
Yeah, to give them priority over, let's say, people coming from the Middle East or Northern Africa. That just makes sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, I mean, there's if you return to the Syrian refugees for a moment, I mean, it's important to understand that the people that come that make it to Europe, that make it to Northern Europe, these are not the people that are in the most need. I mean, we're taking in essentially the middle and upper classes of Syrians,
Right.
People with the money and the resources to actually be able to escape. These are a lot of them are well-educated people. And so that's why I said earlier that this is a political project, because effectively we're draining Syria, for example, of educated people. And the poor Syrians that have escaped Syria, they are in huge refugee camps just across the border from Syria,
Right.
So, but of course, there's,
Okay.
Of course, on the one hand, there's a lot of people that clearly need help, but for my money, I think you'd be able to help a lot more people if if you're talking about Syria. I think you would be able to help a lot more people by spending that money to help them in their, where they are, rather than, letting.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And
Exactly.
I believe that's a huge push by many in America and even in Russia to have a safe zone almost, where other Arab nations that haven't done anything about the crisis, like Saudi Arabia, they're just building walls around the country right now, Saudi Arabia, and haven't done anything, and get them more involved in helping out with what's happening in Syria and Iraq.
That's right, yeah. But of course, our real problem is, the boat refugees that are coming across the Mediterranean. This is a much bigger problem than the Syrian situation, because the Syrian refugee route is closed now. Turkey have finally taken responsibility and started to police their borders. But because we had more than 1 million people crossing the Mediterranean last year.
Wow.
Wow.
Even more people are thought to come over this year, and the majority of these are, again, they're usually the vast majority are young men, and they're coming from Sudan, Eritrea, and Nigeria, and so the Libyan Mediterranean coast is almost entirely unguarded. There's complete anarchy there.
Right, and it looks like to me that the whole Libya experiment with taking out Gaddafi, even though Gaddafi was working with the UN and working with the West and cooperating, and we were doing inspections, everything was fine. I think the taking out of Gaddafi was obviously an absolute failure, and it was just reported today by the head of the CIA that the fastest growing part of ISIS and Al Qaeda is actually in Libya.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's yes, because Libya is finished. But I mean, if you look at a few years back, this goes back to the Arab Spring and
right.
to this to my mind, misguided idea that let's spread democracy to countries that have never had a democracy.
Right.
It's for Europe, it's a sad thing to say, but there's no question that Europe would be much better off if you had dictatorships in the northern African states, because then you had at least you would be able to keep a lid on these boat refugees and everything. But we have problems here, man. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree. I think the American government and a lot of the Western countries got their nose into other people's business where it shouldn't have been. They tried to overthrow dictatorships, which in essence is a good thing, but what it's being replaced with is even worse. You know the expression better the devil I know than the devil I don't.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, the only if you look back to the Arab Spring, the only country that has really come out of it with anything good is Tunisia, because the Tunisian revolution started in Tunisia.
Right.
It's it wasn't like imposed on Tunisia by the US or NATO or whatever. But whereas in Libya, it couldn't have gone worse, really, could it?
Yeah.
Even Egypt, who had even Egypt, they were given, okay, let's have free elections, and they elected the Islamists, So it kind of backfired a little bit, didn't it? It's been I think the whole democracy project in Northern Africa has been a complete disaster.
Right.
And this is, of course, if you look at the refugees in the Mediterranean, that is a direct consequence of that experiment, essentially.
Right. And I think that's what a lot of people in America are missing the point when it comes to this current election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State when this was all going on. She pushed for all this. She's, believe it or not, if this is a huge drastic change in points of view within politics, whereas the Republican doesn't want to go and spread democracy through war and military and overt operations, and the Democrats, the left, do. This is it's flip-flop. It's insanity what's happening right now. Donald Trump's foreign policy views are actually closer to Bernie Sanders than they are to Hillary Clinton's. So,
yeah, he's very much an isolationist, really, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's how he comes across. We're friends, so let's not talk about Donald Trump.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair play. So, so do you have anything else you want to add about the migrant crisis before we move along?
I don't know. I think we've covered most of the stuff we want to talk about.
With the
we have issues going forward that needs to be resolved, I'm like you said, I'm a concerned citizen, and I'm worried that we don't have a complete handle on the situation. And I know that our friends in Germany and France and Italy, they certainly don't have a good handle on the situation. So I think the future is going to be interesting, for sure.
Yeah. Sal, go ahead.
I was going to ask if you've seen, because of the uptick in migrants, have you seen an effect on, say, your healthcare system, education, welfare programs? Have you seen these programs deteriorate or have a problem running normally as compared to like before they came?
No, well, not yet. I mean, we're Norway's a rich country. We still have oil, so our welfare system is fine. But like I said, we have in the eastern part of Oslo, there are many schools where there's hardly any sort of ethnic Norwegian students, and these schools consistently do worse. They perform worse, and when kids are starting school, they don't speak Norwegian because they've been brought up in homes where they speak an entirely different language, but in the long run, as I say, in the long run, taking in a lot of refugees is obviously going to have an impact on our welfare system, because if you look at what happened last year, you had Syrians that they crossed the entire European continent to get to Scandinavia, because they know that the benefit systems in Scandinavia is better than in Greece or Hungary or Romania, and so they are consciously they made that entire journey to get to Scandinavia. And I don't know about Sweden, but Sweden, like I said, Sweden have really shot themselves in the foot because, we in Norway it's still sustainable, but it's of course, if you bring in a large body of people that don't speak the language, that can't be put to work, then that's going to be a burden on the welfare system.
All right. Wow. So we have a lot of information from my friend, the concerned citizen from Norway. That's so funny. We've actually known each other for years. We actually met by talking about soccer or football, but let's not get into that. But it was actually, speaking of football, real quick before we wrap up, who do you think is going to win the Euros?
Well, I've been really impressed by Italy so far.
Really?
I think, and I wasn't beforehand. I follow Italian football, and I thought the team that Italy sent to the Euros was probably the worst team in my lifetime. But they've proved me wrong so far. They're really stubborn, the Italians. So I think, I think the France and Germany have, they have good midfields, but they don't have any attack. So.
Right.
I think it's been a little bit underwhelming so far. I mean, I don't know if you watched Spain last week, but they did really well. But Turkey were rubbish. So we'll see when we get to the playoffs. But I don't know. Italy have really been the only team that's impressed me so far. In the first match against Belgium, they were really, really strong. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. So the Belgium game was surprising.
Sorry?
Yeah, the Belgium game was surprising.
It was because Belgium have been mentioned as one of the potential favorites and stuff, but they I think that match showed that you can have if you have 11 so-called stars in the team, that doesn't guarantee anything unless they play as a team, and the Belgians didn't. So yeah. So for my money, so far, I think Italy have really impressed. Spain is going to go a long way as well, I think. So.
Okay, you heard it here first. Italy, all the way.
Yay!
All the way. Yay, Italy! We got Salvatore. His family's Italian, actually.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
Actually, Sal lives what? How far do you live from Asbury Park, Sal?
From Asbury Park, about 18 minutes.
Yeah, so, that's the home of Bruce Springsteen. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Good on you.
Fair enough. Okay, so we're gonna let you go. Listen, we appreciate you coming on and waking up a little bit early. I know it's early over there because of the time zone, difference. Listen, I really appreciate coming on, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much, and best of luck, guys.
Thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's about a lot of different things. It's about an amendment in the Constitution that people misread. The Constitution doesn't say you can carry hundreds of guns. It says you can protect your home. It says you can protect yourself. It doesn't say get 55 guns. It's not in military style. And people say, well, we need to have our guns because we can, go shoot. You can't hunt anything with an assault rifle. You can't do it. There's nothing left after you. And there are radical Muslims, there are radical Jews, there are radical Catholics, there are radical Christians. There's all kind of radical atheists, radical folks. But the bottom line really is, I don't have to be the person that believes
Kind of
in
sounded
your
like Ben
religion
Shapiro.
to respect you.
Exactly. Yes. It's true.
I don't have to be that, and you don't have to be that. As long as we can respect each other, your religion should have no implication on
Friggin' annoying.
it has to apply to who you are if that's your religion. So we can find a way to live together. This is ridiculous. The fact that we're doing this is ridiculous. We'll be right back.
What was that?
What was that?
I don't know. But she says that the Constitution says you can't have 55 guns.
That's
I don't remember reading that in the Second Amendment.
well, like she said, you're misinterpreting it.
Oh, let me see. Okay, hold on. Well-regulated militia, comma, so that's important, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, now let's see, shall not be infringed. I don't know how I can interpret that. So obviously he says I can't have 55 guns, so it's right there.
It says that you can only keep them in your house. You can
Right,
only
let's
protect your house and protect yourself.
Only my house and myself, and it can't be more than 55 or something. I don't know. Okay, hold on. A well-regulated militia. So they're saying, well, it means militia, like the police. No, that's not what it means. It doesn't mean the police. It means a militia, not the police. Being necessary to the security of a free state. Now let's delve into this. Let's see. Well, if you can't have guns, how do you get a militia? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. How do you do that? Do you just have a militia running around with baseball bats?
Maybe they're like the Sharks and the Jets.
Hey, Daddy-O! I'm trying to figure out, like, seriously. Okay, so you can only have guns if you're in a militia. Well, how do you have a militia if you don't have guns? So I'm just trying to figure this out, Sal. I don't know what's going on.
Militia sounds like it could be a name for a black girl.
Hey, I have a game. I'm gonna Google I'm gonna Google Militia Johnson and see what comes up.
But how are you spelling it? Like Melissa, but with an H?
Militia Johnson.
There's a Militia Culpepper.
See? What is she?
Militia Culpepper is...
What?
I think it has something to do with some...
the Culpepper Minutemen?
LGBTQ youth.
Maybe it's like gays with guns, because, the Culpepper Minutemen?
Possibly.
From 1775, from Virginia. Just throwing it out there.
Militia Culpepper is somebody that lives in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
So there is someone named Militia. There is what we're saying.
Exactly.
That's the point we're getting at. Anyway, back from that.
Not white.
Obviously, Whoopi Goldberg's an asshole and an idiot. Because I have the Second Amendment pulled up right in front of me. I have the handwritten one from the Bill of Rights in 1789, cropped on my computer. And let me see. It's in script, which obviously they don't teach in school anymore. And I'm an idiot, so let me see if I could read this because they might be lying to us, Sal. The computer might be lying to me. A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security. No, it's the same thing. The same thing. So I don't know what she's talking about. The whole point of the Second Amendment is to protect yourself from a tyrannical government, not for hunting. Yeah, that's an added extra. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't say anything about a hunter's group. I don't think a militia is a group of people hunting deer.
They just, yeah.
That's what they do. We go around hunting deer. Oh, look! The enemy! Let's go after some rabbit.
Imagine if somebody like Whoopi Goldberg rewrote the Constitution. That would be a mess.
They want to. They're trying to push for constitutional conventions all the time. So,
Whoopi Goldberg doesn't know what a constitutional convention is.
No, she doesn't. she just knows that her undergarments have extra padding to catch her pee-pee when she sneezes. That's all she knows. That's all she knows. No, but okay, so we have the guns, Whoopi Goldberg being an idiot and not knowing what the fuck she's talking about, and having a bigger national audience than probably all gun advocates combined as far as talk radio or TV shows. Maybe not, I don't know. Well, as far as just speaking on guns, because you have Dana Lash, who's very, very smart when it comes to guns and speaking on those issues. Frank Lott Jr., he's another one with statistics after statistic after statistic when it comes to guns. And if you put one of these two against Whoopi Goldberg, she would just go, "But it is Avenue." That wasn't supposed to be a black impression. That was just supposed to be a confused person impression. I just wanted to put that
okay,
out.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, that wasn't. No, I can do a black person impression if you want.
No, we don't want to do that.
Oh, Lordy! Anyway, out of that. No, seriously.
Then go to Joy Behar then, because she's another one on that show.
Well, then there's a different type of impression you could do with Joy Behar. Oh, speaking of Jews.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. There was an article about a guy who shot an AR-15. Did you read this?
Yeah, that pussy with the friggin' PTSD.
Yeah, Kuntzman. Yeah, his name is Gersh Kuntzman. Okay, it was in the Daily News. His name is Gertz Kuntzman.
Gersh
Kuntzman. Oh dear! And if you read the article, do it in the voice of in your head as Mort Goldman from Family Guy. So hold on. It felt to me like a bazooka and sounded like a cannon, but mostly I was just terrified. Here it goes. There should be expanded background checks extended into your family, friends, and associates. And that's not okay. Where's he? We want to see where he starts talking about. No, he really goes where he starts talking about firing the gun. I think he edited it. Oh, here we go. The recoil bruised my shoulder, which can happen if you don't know what you're doing. The brass shell casings disoriented me as they flew past my face. The smell of sulfur and destruction made me sick. The explosions, loud like a bomb, gave me temporary form of PTSD. For at least an hour after firing the gun just a few times, I was anxious and irritable. Am I right?
What a fucking pussy.
We're not supposed to stereotype, Sal.
Kuntzman.
I'm sure there's plenty of awesome Jews that shoot guns and are excellent marksmen, such as like the people who serve in the IDF.
The explosions.
Yeah, but this is just ridiculous. This is like your liberal. I'm not talking about the conservative Jew or the Jews that do what they have to do. I'm talking about the liberal left-wing Jew mentality. I was anxious and irritable. It gave me temporary form of PTSD. Oh dear! Come on, these liberal left-wing Jews are insane. It bruised his shoulder. There are pictures of 7-year-old girls shooting an AR-15 without getting bruised shoulders. And there's so much wrong with this article. First off, as we said earlier, that the terrorist didn't use an AR-15. He used a Sig Sauer. So there's just so much wrong. Oh dear Lord! So we go from Gersh Kuntzman, and we'll move along into the recent rise in homosexuals buying guns. Do you know that, Sal?
I know that. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you're the one that shared it, actually. You're the one that brought it to my attention, so I hope you know about it.
Oh, man. These homosexuals are definitely not Kuntzmans.
No, not Kuntzmans at all. It says that gun sales surge among gays and lesbians after Orlando shooting. It was reported by Fox 31 in Denver. Apparently, gun sales are surging. I mean, there's not more I can say with the gays.
I didn't know that there was a homosexual gun group. This friggin' website better not hit me with one of those pop-up ads.
What, the KDVR.com?
Yeah.
No, I just went there. There's none.
Yeah, they have a gun group called the Pink Pistols.
If I had a gay gun group, it would be called Cocked and Loaded.
I like that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, their membership soared from 1,500 to 3,500 just on Saturday.
Damn. Hey, listen, if any of you have great names for homosexual gun groups, send them to thepatriarchyshow@gmail.com. Or you could tweet Sal them at Liberty by Logic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Cocked and loaded.
Pink pistols. What about lesbian gun groups?
What? Oh, man. What would that be called?
Well, I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything clever off the top of my head.
I mean, neither.
I'm thinking of something. Here we go. Clits and Glocks. No, I don't like that one. I can't think of anything. All right, send them to thepatriarchyshow@gmail.com or Sal at Liberty by Logic. Don't send them to me.
Yeah, don't send them to Ian D. Erickson.
Yeah, don't send them to Ian D. Erickson on my Twitter. But yeah, the gays are buying guns. You said that the membership over doubled. I believe Breitbart also reported the same thing about the gays buying guns. So, good. I say good. It's their constitutional right. No matter what Whoopi Goldberg wants to say, let the fags have the guns! Let them be Americans.
Exactly.
God damn it.
Let
Faggots.
them be
And I don't
gay
mean the
Americans.
gays, I mean Whoopi Goldberg.
I am a gay American. Who said that?
McGreevy, the great former governor of our great state of New Jersey.
Mr. Glory Hole.
Mr. Glory Hole. Speaking of New Jersey, a Homedale phys ed or health teacher got in trouble, I believe, for trying to deal drugs to James O'Keefe on camera. James O'Keefe of the Veritas Foundation, the one who did all those Acorn videos.
Didn't he do the Planned Parenthood stuff too?
Yeah, him. Yeah, so in our great state, in a town maybe 15 minutes away from me in Homedale, a teacher got caught on camera trying to deal drugs. And what's funny, the Star Ledger, another local paper, which I have actually been printed in, but no, the Star Ledger had to cover this story, even though they tried to sue James O'Keefe. Or no, they did sue James O'Keefe several years ago for defamation. So that's interesting. Kind of forced their hand with that. So that's the great another New Jersey update. We need a thing. We should have a thing for New Jersey updates. Brexit, Sal. What do you know about Brexit?
Well, I just learned it's the movement to leave the EU.
EU.
PU-EU.
PU-EU. I'm sure that's never ever been said before.
I hope it's never said again.
But yeah, Brexit, that's June 23rd, the vote. I have a few friends of mine who are in the UK who... I think all my British friends are 100% for Brexit. I don't know any that aren't. And I don't think I would be friends with someone from the UK that wasn't for Brexit, to be quite honest with you. Which is interesting. One of my one friend, he's gay, conservative in the UK, and he's for Brexit. I don't want to say his name. He lives a private life, but he's for Brexit as well. So it's interesting. It's these different types of people all coming together to get the fuck out of the European Union. So that is cool. We'll see what happens with the unfortunate events with Joe Cox, the MP, being shot, murdered today by a mentally ill man who I believe has been reported the day before he murdered the MP. He tried to receive mental health, but I guess his calls went unanswered. So that's just a tragedy right there.
From what I hear, it takes a long time for your medical issues to be answered in the UK.
Well, I can imagine with the was it the NHS? Is that what it's called? The National Health Services, I believe, with their socialized medicine services.
I believe that's what it's called. I could be wrong.
And this is why we have Sebastian Cheek, who will be our UK correspondent. So whenever we need anything European or British, we will call him up straight away, as they say.
There you go.
All right. So the last thing I want to cover before we wrap up is the polls, Sal. What do you know about the polls?
I know that
they're not the ones from Poland.
Oh, okay.
You see what I did there?
I would have went the gay route.
You always go the gay route, so I was expecting that. That's why I went there.
Well, that's because I'm a pink pistol log cabin Republican member.
Good. Well, congratulations. Now you got to tell your wife and kids.
Okay.
So the election, The polls are showing Trump actually bumped up a little bit after the tragedy in Orlando. Obviously, it opened a lot of people's eyes to his proposal on a temporary ban on Muslim immigrants or any countries that have ties to terrorist activities against the United States of America. At least as long as we can figure out what the hell's going on. We know what happened in San Bernardino with the ball was dropped there with that tragedy. So the polls, everyone's saying, well, the polls this, the polls that. And we know since the summer, the polls have been fucking wrong because Donald Trump was never supposed to be the GOP nominee, and he is. So I don't put much stock in the polls. And this same time in 1980, when Reagan ran against Carter, Reagan was at 32%. Carter was at 39%. So let's keep that in mind. So even Reagan was, unpopular. There was a kind of a fragmentation within the Republican Party. He was down going into the summer in the general. He had a bump, it looks like, after the convention, but then went down in August and September. And then in October and November, he was actually down in the polls. The third to last poll they did, he was down 40 to 44%. The second to last poll they did in November, he was down 39 to 45%. The last poll, he was up 47 to 44%, and the actual result was 51-41. So Reagan actually won by 10 points.
That election was probably the birth of the original conservative.
You think so? I think they wanted to do a lot, but when Reagan got in, he kind of just was like, eh. He wasn't high energy enough, Sal.
He definitely wasn't high enough energy to get away from Hinckley.
At least Trump dodges books that are being thrown at him. You saw that, right?
No, I didn't get to see that. Somebody tried to throw a book at him?
Yeah, I believe so, unless my wife's lying to me.
Is it? Let me look that up. I wonder if it's reported what book was thrown.
The Communist Manifesto. One of Glenn Beck's pocket constitutions.
Arguing with idiots. What's funny, you just mentioned that. I have my pocket constitution right in front of me. I pulled it out when we were talking about the Second Amendment.
Yeah, here it is. 6 days ago, someone throws a book that almost beans Donald Trump in the head. It was reported by Kelly O'Donnell. I don't know who she is.
Somebody hit him with tomatoes the other day and yelled, "Hail Trumpler."
That's so dumb.
In Iowa.
Whatever. These people just don't understand this is only helping him. But whatever, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Let them do it. Let them do it. Someone I'm in a chat with said it's the same principle in judo. If your enemy's going to make a mistake, don't stop them. Let them keep going and use that momentum to put them over. So.
Yeah, he was almost hit in the head by a book when he was signing stuff in Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's an actual video.
Don't worry about it. I think we have to start wrapping up anyway, Sal.
Yeah, we should start wrapping up.
Yeah. We start wrapping up?
Yeah, we should start doing that.
All right. So, Sal, good show.
I would say so myself.
A lot of really good information from our Norwegian guest and my personal friend. That was. I thought those are pretty alarming numbers. And it's sad that he can't speak that in a more public forum because he'll be ostracized pretty much. Don't forget, newmediacentral.net is the website. newmediacentral.net. You can find myself on Twitter at Ian D. Erickson. You can find Sal at Liberty by Logic. Of course, we have our UK Europe correspondent, Sebastian Cheek, added to the site. We have Nick Martinez, who was on our second episode as a guest, is now part of our podcast network. We now have Brydon Proctor, who is now part of our podcast network. So we got a lot of stuff going. And my little brother, Keith Erickson, is still running the sports section. He actually published a piece tonight, so we're rolling, Sal.
We're doing good. We're on fire.
Is there... Okay, so I guess that's it. Is there anything else you want to add, Sal?
Subscribe to the Patriarchy Show.
Yes.
Spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Oh, and go to iTunes, even if you don't have an iTunes account, and give us 5 stars.
There you go. Give us a good review.
Give us 5 stars. I don't care if you never even... This is the first time you listened. 5 stars.
There you go.
And whatever you do, when you go to newmediacentral.net, don't randomly click the ads, willy-nilly. Don't do that. I said don't.
Yeah, don't do that. All right, everyone. See you next week.
We still need an out saying. But yeah, see you next week. Later, guys.
Peace.